Right now, Corri McFadden is joining us. She is the founder of eDrop-Off, which, they were founded back in 2004, and I love the concept of this website because they specialize in reselling high-end and luxury items on sites like eBay, and it's one of those companies that makes this super crazy expensive luxury brands a little more affordable, because we're buying something that may have been used or worn before, but it's still very much in style. So, hello, Corri. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm taking a little gander at your website, and it looks like there's a lot of really fashionable people that work at eDrop-Off.
Oh, you're under our staff, I see.
I am. I don't think I could ever work in your offices because I'd feel like I'd always need to overdress.
No, you just be yourself. We embrace individual style, but no, we definitely have a very fashion-forward group here at eDrop-Off, and a love of fashion, to say the least.
So today we're going to focus in on bags and the difference between a fake luxury handbag and a real one. And not only how can we tell the difference, but why is it so popular lately? I feel that we are seeing more and more of these fake handbags being available on the street or online. I think there was a big surge about a year ago for fake handbags online.
Yeah, it's always been a problem, but with the widespread use of the internet, it's been growing like wildfire. And so really it's become a movement within the fashion community, and a lot of the designers teaming up together in individual efforts in trying to make people aware of what these fake handbags represent. Not just that the bag is not genuine, but really where that bag is coming from, what it's costing the American economy. I mean, when you hear some of the statistics, you're just like, oh my gosh, I mean, the bag might as well have horns on it.
Right. And especially for the people who are making, that there are not only tons and tons of these fake bags being made, but they're coming into our country and being sold, and they're not run through the proper systems. We're not paying taxes on them. It's a whole other issue as well, right?
Yes. I mean, just here's a little tip. And this is actually, Bazaar Magazine launched a huge campaign, and last year alone, New York City lost an estimated $1 billion in tax revenues. And so that's just one city losing $1 billion. Over 750,000 jobs are to be responsible for counterfeit goods being lost in the U.S. I mean, this is a time where we're trying to band together in whatever way possible, trying to stimulate the economy. And when you're buying these bags, it's just stepping us backwards.
Right.
And yeah.
And it's not only handbags. I mean, it's clothing in general, shoes, sunglasses are a big deal, and jewelry.
And fragrance.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes all the way down to the beauty products. It's shoes account for about 24% of counterfeit goods. So not only, used to think like Nikes, Michael Jordans, those being knocked off. Now it's Christian Louboutins, Manolos, Giuseppe Zanotti. It's all of these designers are on these sites where they're being knocked off. And where it's really a problem, too, is along the younger demographic, the girls in high school that aspire and want to wear these goods that only have a budget of $75 to sell or to spend. So, okay, I'll buy these. They're good enough. They have the red bottoms, but they don't understand what those goods are doing.
Right. And to be perfectly frank, we are getting what we pay for, right?
That is the truth. I mean, you're good to get one wear out of it. I mean, it is not built to last. And there's a lot of places where you can put your money and get something that's genuine that will last you. And I mean, it's loose stitching. The soles aren't proper. The shoes aren't going to be comfortable. The sunglasses, don't have polarized lenses. There's none of the benefits of what the luxury goods represent in these counterfeit goods.
Right. So I want to go back a little bit. Again, we're talking to our friend Corri McFadden. She is the founder of eDrop-Off, a website that specializes in power selling and selling goods that have either been used or somebody has that they don't really want or are going to use. And you guys basically take those items and sell them online via websites like eBay. And you've done this with over 100,000 different pieces of clothing and jewelry and sunglasses and bags, right?
Yes, over the last 7 years, we've sold actually over 150,000 pieces.
Wow.
Being all authentic and all luxury goods. And we basically take the legwork out of selling the items. So we do all the detailed images, we write the description, do all the measurements, all the correspondence of the sale. We really make it a seamless transaction. And we do everything in a professional manner. We authenticate everything. We show all the images of what one needs to see and being comfortable in making that transaction. And we're 100% on eBay, so we've really worked on that platform and making people feel safe in buying these items that, we'll sell an Hermes Birkin that'll go for $10,000, and we won't even speak to that person who purchases it because we have that reputation and we've built that up over the years, and really just educating people out there that, you can buy these goods online. It is safe. There are definitely authorized sites to buy them from. It's just, you just need that education and that little boost of confidence to make that transaction. And that's really what we try to do here.
Right. And you guys give a special assurance that these things are real, that these luxury branded items like the bags and shoes, they're real and they're from these designers. But for those of us that are out there shopping and maybe we are thinking that we're just in a secondhand store in general, and we're shopping in a legit form and fashion of finding these good deals. How are we able to differentiate between the bad and the good, between the fake and the real when it comes to bags?
Well, some easy things you can look for are in the overall construction. In a genuine bag, it's going to look great, and the seams should match up evenly. If it has a quilted design like it's a Chanel bag, the pattern should line up on the seams. The stitching should be tight. The hardware shouldn't be tarnished. Little things, even details like where the chain is attached to the bag, that generally is a clean soldered piece of hardware, no open gaps. Just an overall quick sweep of it that it looks constructed well. But the fake bags are getting better and better, and they're starting to use things like genuine leather and really starting to do the authenticity marks similar to the way that the manufacturer does them. And so we actually have built a full authenticity library on our website where we provide picture images along with text of what you're looking at that can be used as a resource to really educate yourself with visuals.
Aha. So having that actual example may help us in knowing what to look for.
Exactly. Like we've broken down everything from Balenciaga, Chanel, Chloe, Coach, Fendi, all those key bags that are really knocked off, all the the trend bags that you might see a celebrity carrying. Those are the ones that usually hit the knockoff stream pretty quickly because there's a demand for them. So we've really tried to break all those bags down from the hardware, the leather, the authenticity stamp, and with really great professional images so you can really just try to educate yourself and go out there and make that purchase, whether it be online or in a consignment shop.
Yeah, and it's a great resource. So that website's shop eDrop-Off.com again, and I'm actually clicking through a couple of the examples, and you really do go into each piece of the bag. You go to the handle, you're on the fabric, if there's a lock on it, like these Louis Vuitton bags. So there's some very cool, detailed information. And so if we know what we want to buy, maybe that's a good place to start, is online, doing that research, really getting a good idea of what to look for when we do go into those stores.
Yes, and it's funny, I was actually, I was back home yesterday for a weekend wedding trip, and I went into a couture consignment shop there in town, and it was filled with amazing, beautiful merchandise, all genuine, except for there was an Hermes wallet on one of the shelves, and I pulled it out, and it was definitely not genuine. And the owner of the shop had no idea. She had been getting it from one of her very good consigners, and you just never know. And so, having this as a resource and really educating yourself, it makes you a better buyer and not taking a risk knowing if it's genuine or not.
Especially if we're spending that much money. I mean, these aren't cheap. These bags that, like you said before, can go up to $10,000 for a handbag.
Yeah, a second-hand handbag, mind you.
Wow.
A bag that's been used, they can go up to that. And, really brands like Hermes, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, those brands really hold their value because they go through significant price increases throughout the years, especially the ones that really become a staple that they make season after season and they change the fabrication or the color. Those bags go up significantly in price. So they're not only good investments to then resell when you're done using them, but when you are buying them secondhand, they're not cheap.
Right. And so I want to go into the world of less expensive bags for half a second, because I want to just say that, many of us can't afford that, me being one, putting that much money towards a bag like this. What are some simple things we can look for in less expensive bags by maybe more popular commercial designers that are key elements that make it a good bag?
Make it a good bag is you can really look at the construction. If it's a good leather, if you're going to be using it to tote to work and put your laptop in and folders and things, you want to make sure it's constructed out of a heavy leather, not a light calf skin, something that's going to wear out easily. It's really going to depend on what you're going to be using it for. And you can get a lot of these bags for a great discounted price on sites like the Outnet or My Habit, which was just a new site launched by Google. They'll have a lot of these bags that originally retail for around $450, marked down to $100.
Wow. And
they're awesome, great staples that you can use season after season, or just use because it's a trendy piece that's in for the season and then get rid of it through Shop eDrop-Off if you wanted, and we resell it so you can buy something new for the next season. And it's really just, investing in what you're going to be using it for. And if it's going to be a bag that you're using every single day, those are things that you should weigh out and really invest in. If you're someone that takes a tote to work every day, invest in that tote in something that you love and that makes sense for your lifestyle. But don't overextend yourself. And that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they really want the bag and they can't afford it. And either they overextend themselves on their credit card or they go buy the fake version. You can get something that you'll love just as much that's in your budget. And that's the most important thing.
And then you're not sitting there going, I wonder if anyone's realizing this is fake.
And listen, they're out there and we know.
Exactly.
We can see you. Remember that.
And you have to think about the overall function and the overall wear and the life of these products are really what we should be worried about. And as long as it's, we need to make sure it's something that we can use for a while because we're spending good money on it and it's functioning the way we want it to. Maybe a super expensive bag isn't the way to go. Maybe you have found a really great bag in a store you shop at all the time, but that it is made by this store, so you have that sense of understanding that it's a quality item.
Right. It could be from a local boutique. I travel around and I bought a great clutch in LA last week for $100 made by a local artist. There are pieces out there that are true treasures, and I always say shop local is such a great way because there's so much local talent that really needs the help of the community and that are really producing some amazing pieces.
Yeah.
And it's just go where you love, what fits your style, and support those stores. And just buy genuine. There's no need to buy fake, especially with what's out there now and really with the flash sale sites that have come to play and those offerings of something that might be out of your budget that now is in your budget. And it's great to explore those options.
Yeah, and I want to go into a little bit more of the spotting a fake world for a minute, because there are certain things we can look for when it comes to specific bags and specific brands, right?
Yes. Like Louis Vuitton is a good one to go with. Their stitching is very tight. It should never be a loose stitch. It shouldn't be a long stitch. That's a really quick giveaway. There's also a misconception that a new Louis Vuitton bag has a very, very light leather, and it honeys with wear. And so if you see it and it's in a local boutique or something and it's got dark brown leather and it's brand new, it's probably not genuine.
Right.
Because that leather comes from the wear of the bag. Those are really good key points. A lot of times fake bags, the hardware will come wrapped in plastic. And these bags come with really great packaging. So a sleeper bag, a lot of times a Chanel bag will come with, it comes with the authenticity card. And a lot of these fakes include those things, but there's even authenticity key points within those that sometimes can be easier to identify, which we go through in our library as well. But it's just look at the overall construction of the bag. How does it look? Is it real leather? How does it feel? Does it feel cheap? And the bag should feel overall sturdy and good. And the fake bags generally do not.
Yeah, and I want to go into the leather of that Louis Vuitton bag for a minute, because the experience I've had with those is there's a definite, you can definitely tell based on the way they feel, first of all, because there's just that lighter, more plasticky feeling to spotting a fake. And then the real quality leather and the feeling of those handles or the feeling of the actual bag itself. But you did mention so for the normal bags that have the lighter handles and the lighter straps that wear with age and the oil of our hands and the oxidation process between the air and the actual fabric, that's part of the love many people have for these bags, is that they age like appropriately and they look as though they have been a part of our lives for a while, right?
Right. I mean, that's what makes these bags so great, is they literally age with you. And they age in a way that they only look better. They don't age in a way that they are looking worn out and worse. And that, goes with the care of the bag as well. That's why these bags come with sleeper bags. That's to keep them stored in your closet, to keep, them wearing well. And a fake bag, it only looks worse every time you carry it, where the genuine bag looks better every time you carry it.
Yeah. So I love that we're talking about this, because it's a big issue. And you mentioned at the beginning of our discussion, there are certain companies and campaigns out there that are bringing awareness to purchasing fake handbags and fake luxury items, and are really helping us understand what that purchase is doing to the overall economy. You mentioned the Harper's Bazaar article about fakes are never in fashion. I think they call it their fakes are never in fashion campaign.
Yeah.
What are some other ones that you're seeing out there?
Harper's Bazaar was one of the first ones to really launch a big campaign and start bringing designers in, and they have done an amazing job. Their Fakes Are Never in Fashion campaign it's fakesareneverinfashion.com. There's just a plethora of information there. And actually, eBay launched with CFDA last week a You Can't Fake Fashion campaign. They did a collaboration with 50 designers, and they came up with a canvas tote, You Can't Fake Fashion tote, and each designer made the tote their own. There were 50 designers involved, from Donna Karan, Calvin Klein, Betsy Johnson, Rodarte, just a really great range of designers. And they all have band together to really bring an awareness, which is what it takes. It takes everyone teaming up, bringing this to light, really making people understand the impact, not only to the designers and their internal houses and their brand integrity, but how it's affecting not only the U.S. economy, but the worldwide economy. And so all of these movements are starting to go between the publications, the designers, and the platforms, and hopefully it'll really bring it to light, almost in a sense of how PETA has been brought to light. Because when you see the photos of, a 5-year-old making these shoes in a factory, it hits a little bit different than seeing the bag just being sold on the corner.
Right, and there's some definite numbers that go into play, just as far as more of the economy of everything. And I like that you were talking earlier about the $1 billion is the estimated annual loss in New York City tax revenues due to the counterfeiting of luxury brands. But there's also other numbers, like 10% is the estimated percentage of fakes among all goods produced worldwide every year. So 10%, one out of every 10 pieces of clothing or a bag or shoes, they're actually made to look like something else and not really that great, So that's a big bulk of these items.
A huge bulk. I mean, $600 billion is the estimated annual sales in counterfeit goods worldwide. So that's $600 billion being spent on goods that are hurting our economy, that could be spent on goods supporting and stimulating the economy. And a $600 billion stimulation plan, I think we could use that.
Yeah, and you would never think...
We're in control of it.
Yeah.
It's in our hands. It's actually something that us as a consumer, it doesn't take lobbying, doesn't take legislation. It's something that we actually can make the conscious decision and go do it and make a change.
Right. And there are other organizations out there, the Anti-Counterfeiting Group, I believe it's a-cg.org, is a pretty big organization, as well as myauthentics.com. So there's tons of resources out there for figuring out the difference between these real luxury brand items and the fake ones that are being put into the market. We're talking to Corri McFadden, the founder of eDrop-Off, which is a really great website. You guys not only specialize in offering up items that are once used or owned by one person, and you resell them on eBay, and one of the big things that you do within that process is you guarantee that it is a real luxury item from that brand or that designer.
Yes, we guarantee the authenticity of all of our goods. On our detailed auctions, we show all the key authenticity points as well, from the details of the hardware, the seam lines, the blind stamp, the authenticity marks, and what you need to see. And we guarantee not only the authenticity, but also the comfort of the purchase. So we want you to be comfortable with your bag or your shoes or your blouse. We don't want you to be stuck with anything that you have a sense of, discomfort about. That's not what we're about. We want you to be happy to have that item in your wardrobe and, have pride when you wear it.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show, because this is a very big issue, and I'm glad we were able to dive in a little bit and get some key tips for going out there and trying to find these really great brands for a deal. Because if we stick to the original designer, and maybe we're buying from a secondhand or vintage store, maybe we're buying online, like your website offers great deals for luxury items, we can stimulate our economy a little bit. So thank you very much. I want to ask you one question, because we're asking all of our friends on Living Today this entire week. Is our question of the week: what is your summer read? What's on your must-read list this summer?
Well, I actually just finished reading for the second time Bringing Home the Birkin. It's just a fun read by the pool. And I'm getting ready to start Isabella Blow, Blow by Blow, that was written by her husband.
Oh, it's a true story of her life. And
yes.
For those people at home, Isabella Blow was a huge, iconic figure in the fashion industry. And she was a muse for many designers as well, right?
Yes, including Alexander McQueen, and anything that has McQueen intrigues me and the fashion community. So I'm excited to see what her life was all about. So
awesome. Well, thank you for being on the show. And again, for more information on what eDrop-Off does, go to shop eDrop-Off.com. Founder Corri McFadden has just been joining us. Thank you so much, Corri.
Great. Thank you.